Hello everyone, welcome back to the class. Today we'll continue chapter 3 and we'll study about a very important concept which will be used heavily in our programming language and also in programs like output programs, in find errors programs. Okay, this part is very important because this will be used in both class 9 and 10. Okay, so today the topic is typecasting. So before moving to today's topic, we'll revise a little bit of previous videos. That is, first is variable. So what is a variable? A variable is nothing but it is a memory. It is a memory. It is a storage location. This memory will store what? This memory will store value. And value means also known as constants, also known as literals, also known as data. So values are different name. They are called constants, they are called data, they are called literals. So this will be stored in this memory. Okay, and this memory is called the variable in Java. So last class we studied about variable, which is a memory where we are going to store some data. We also learned what are different types of data or values or literals in Java. That is numeric literal, non-numeric literals, boolean, and under it we have studied about different keywords like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, string, boolean. And we also studied about how to create these memory locations, that is the variables, how to create these memory locations and how to store this value in a variable. So for example, you want to create a memory which can hold integer values. Okay, so I will write int x for example. So what does this mean actually when I write int x? It will create a memory location. It will create a memory location whose name is x. Each memory you have to give some name. Okay. Each variable should have their own name, which can hold integer type. How did you know that it will hold integer type? Because we have mentioned integer, int. Int means it is a keyword which helps to keep integer values in a variable of size 4. So this is creation of variable, or we said that this is declaration of variable. Then we studied about declaration with initialization. So declaration means creation of variables or creating variables, and initialization means storing of value. Storing of value in a variable. Creation of variable is called declaration, and the storing of value in that variable, the variable which we have created, is called initialization. So for example, I will write int x equal to 5. So what will happen? So this will be divided into two parts. The first part, this one, this part is called the declaration. The second part, that is this part, is called initialization. So int x equal to 5 means first it will create a memory location, that is a variable with name x, which can hold integer values of size 4 bytes, the maximum size 4 bytes. And then the second part will get executed, that is x equal to 5. This is called initialization. Next part is called initialization. First part is called declaration. Then 5 will be stored in the variable x. We can also write like this. If you write like int x and then you write x equal to 5, this is also fine. A student may write int x equal to 5 directly, or another student can write first int x semicolon, then again x equal to 5 semicolon. So this is called declaration and this is called initialization. When the whole thing is written in one line, it is called a declaration with initialization. This is declaration. this is initialization, and this thing is called declaration with initialization. If you write like this, it is correct. If you write like this is also correct. So now we'll continue with our next topic, that is typecasting. So let us start. So what is typecasting? Okay. The first word type denotes the data type. The first word type denotes the data type. So typecasting, here the word type denotes or tells about the data type. And casting means, here the meaning of casting means to change. That is to change data type. Change of data type is known as typecasting. So what is the actual definition? The process of converting from one primitive data type to another primitive data type is called typecasting or type conversion. Okay, type conversion is a synonym. Okay, conversion means from one data type to another data type, you are converting it, you are changing it. Okay, that means casting, that means conversion, that means change. Okay, but one primitive data type to another primitive data type. This primitive word is very, very important. So we have learned that there are 9 data types. If you take int, byte, short, char, string, boolean, float, double, everything, there are total 9. And out of which only one data type, that is string, is non-primitive data type. So here we are not talking about string. String is out of question. So remaining are 8. And out of this 8, cut boolean also. Cut boolean also. So today we will be talking about these 7 data types, that is byte, short, int, long. Those are the integer data types. Then the real data types are double, float, and the single character data type, that is char. So today we will be talking about these 7 data types and how to convert from one data type to another data type. Okay. So now typecasting is again divided into 2 types. That is explicit typecasting and implicit typecasting. Okay. Explicit typecasting and implicit typecasting. So first we'll study about explicit typecasting. So typecasting is changing from one primitive data type to another primitive data type. For example, so we have byte, short, int, long, float, double, and char. So byte can be converted to short, can be converted to int, can be converted to long, can be converted to float, can be converted to double, can be converted to char. Similarly, short can be converted to these types, int can be converted to these types, long can be converted to these types, float can be converted to these types, double can be converted to these types, char can be converted to these types. Means it can be converted from one primitive data type to another primitive data type. Here we will not be talking about boolean. Boolean is a primitive data type, but it is not eligible here because boolean holds very different value, that is true and false. So therefore we are not considering boolean here. And so string is also out of question because it is not a primitive data type only. So we cannot include it. Okay. So now we'll go to explicit conversion. So what is explicit conversion? So if you want to convert from a bigger data type to a smaller data type, a bigger data type to a smaller data type, then it is known as explicit conversion. From bigger to smaller. How will you know which is bigger, which is smaller? The size of the data type. So last videos we studied about the size of different data types, right? Like byte is 1 byte, short is 2 byte, int is 4 byte, double is 8 bytes, long is 8 bytes, float is 4 bytes, char is 2 bytes. So that is the size. So big means, for example, you want to convert from double, which is 8 byte, to int, which is 4 byte. So this will be known as explicit conversion. When we will be converting from a bigger data type to a smaller data type, that case is called an explicit conversion. So now we'll understand how to convert it. Okay. So now I'll make you understand with a simple example. For example, a small child is staying in this house it is his 3rd birthday and he wants an elephant as a gift. An elephant as a gift. So what is the house of an elephant? Jungle. Okay, because elephant is too big. Elephant is too big, right? So therefore elephant stays in a jungle. But this child tells his father that I want an elephant, a real elephant, a big elephant for my birthday. So will this elephant fit into this? No. So what you have to do? You have to do some changes to the elephant so that it can fit into this new house. This is elephant's house. The elephant's house is big, but this elephant now wants to come to this small house. So here we'll say that this is a concept of explicit conversion. So for example, in Java, 5 is present in the variable a, and the variable a is of what type? It is of int type. I think you remember this line we studied in previous videos. This is called declaration with initialization. So when I write int a equal to 5, what will happen? It will create a variable a of type int, that is it can store integer value of size 4 bytes. Okay, this is one part. And the second part is a equal to 5 means it will store the value 5 in a. So now we have a value 5 in the variable a. But I want to shift this 5 to a new location. For example, I want to store in B. Now 5 is present in A, but now I want to store this value in B. So int is big, right? It is 4 bytes, it is big. Now we want to store in a variable B, which is only 1 byte. So now we have to do explicit conversion. Okay. So what you have to do? This is variable A. So you are doing what? You are taking the value from A to B. From A to B. Okay. Here when you write byte B equal to A, the value from A will be shifted to B. But we have to tell that we have to convert this into byte, because if we don't convert it to byte, we cannot store in byte. So in bracket we have to write byte. Very simple syntax to remember. Whatever is written here it is written byte. In the bracket also you have to write byte. The syntax is data type variable 1 equal to data type variable 2. Okay. Syntax is data type, or you can say the new data type. The new data type, then the variable name, you have to give some variable name equal to, in the bracket you have to write the same thing. This is equal. Whatever data type you write here, you have to write the same data type here. Okay, remember like this. And then the variable. Which variable? The old variable. From where you want to bring the value. Here the old variable is A and the new variable is B. What type of data type you want to bring? You want to bring byte. So here also you have to write inside bracket byte. So few more examples. So in M you have 10 and M is of int type, means the size is 4 bytes. So now you want to store in the variable h, which is byte. So it is small. So see what we have done. We have converted this to byte and then stored the value present in M to H. So this is an example of explicit conversion. Next we have double A equal to 9.7 and now we want to store in INTB. So we have double A equal to 9.7, but now I want to store in INTB. So do you see, double is a real type of data type while int is an integer data type. In the previous case, int was integer, byte was integer, but now one is real, one is integer. Yes, here also we can do it. This is the explicit conversion because the size of double is 8 while the size of int is 4. So what will happen? You have to convert this to int. And whatever is present in A, it will be stored in B. Okay. So whatever variable is written here in the bracket also you have to write the same variable. From where you are bringing from A, therefore you have to write A. To where you are bringing to B. Clear? But what will be stored in B? Because B can store integer values, but here 9.7 is a real value. We cannot store 9.7. So automatically Java will convert this value into 9. So in B, 9.7 will not get stored. What will get stored? Only 9. The decimal part, remember, it will delete the decimal part. For example, in A it was 8.5. Now you want to store in B. 8.5 will not be stored. It will delete the integer. It will delete the decimal part. Only 8 will be stored. Okay, the decimal part will be deleted automatically when you do explicit conversion. Another question. For example, so next we have is called automatic typecasting or implicit typecasting or implicit conversion. That is the opposite of explicit conversion. So here in explicit, it was from bigger to smaller, but now it is from smaller to bigger. For example, here now the child will not bring the elephant to his house, but the child will go to the elephant's house. It is a big house. You can easily fit in the jungle. So from smaller to bigger, you can go directly. You don't have to do any extra conversion. So this is called automatic conversion. So what you have to do? For example, you have a value int a equal to 10 and you want to store in a variable b which is of long type. So 4 and long is 8. It is bigger. You are going from smaller to bigger data type or bigger variable, you can say. So here you don't have to write that bracket thing, only just write a. When you write a, 10 will automatically go and stored in the variable b. You don't have to write this bracket. You used to write bracket in explicit. That is not required. You just have to write long b equal to a and automatically 10 will be stored in b. Few more examples. So we have value. So we have 10 in the variable m, a byte type. You want to go to int h from smaller to bigger, from 1 byte to 4 byte. So you can write direct int h equal to m. Similarly, here int a equal to 9 and you want to store in a variable b of double type. Again, the type of data type is also changing from integer to real. Int a equal to 9 and now you are storing in double b is equal to a. So what will store? 9 will get stored? No. Double will always store decimal values. So here the Java will automatically convert it to 9.0. So 9 will not get stored, but 9.0 will get stored. So when you are changing from different data types, okay, when the type of data type is also changing from integer to real, from real to integer, the value will also get changed. If it is from integer to real, it will change from integer to real. If you are bringing the value from real to integer, the real value will also get converted from real to integer. Okay, you have to remember this. This is very, very important. So what is left is char. From integer data types to char and from real data types to char. That is from byte to char, from int to char, from short to char, from long to char. That is integer to character. Then real data types to character means float, double to character. Okay. So for us, this is very important. We have to understand how to convert integer to character and from character to integer. So this we'll study in later part of chapter 3. Okay. So now we have some standard default values. Okay, actually these default values will be used when we will study about constructor. Actually constructor we will study in class 10. Constructor will study in class 10. So this will not be used now, but you might get questions in your school exams. So for now just remember the values, but the actual use will be when we will be doing constructors in class 10. So byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, string. Everyone have their default value. So question will come, what is the default value of int? So you have to write 0. Or what is the default value of string? You have to write none. So you have to remember this table. Please make a note in your copy. It is also present in the printed notebook also, the printed book that is given to you. Okay. So you have to remember this value. So here you can see the default value of byte is 0, short is 0, int is 0. But for long it is 0, capital L or small l. So whenever you want to keep some value, not I am talking only about default values, any value, always try to write small l or capital L. Okay. For example, you want to write long b equal to 10. So don't keep this 10. Write it as long b equal to 10 L. So this is the correct version of writing. Okay. Though some people do what? They write like this. So this is also correct. So how this is correct? Whenever you write an integer value, Java will automatically think it is int. The default data type of integer value is int. By default, Java will think that 10 is nothing but it is int data type. Similarly, whenever you write a real value, any real value, Java will think automatically it is double. Okay, so int is the default data type for integer values and double is the default data type for real values. You have to remember this. So when you write 10 here, Java will think it is what type? It is int type. Int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes. From smaller data type to larger data type. So here it is getting automatic typecasting. So therefore you will not get any error. If you write like this, you will not get any error. Because here it is doing automatic typecasting. But actually you should write like this. When you write L, when you write 10L, Java will not think it as int, but it will think it as long. Okay, therefore you can write small l, you can write capital L. Both are fine. Okay, but whenever you define anything in long, please write L. Okay, though it will not give error when you write int. Okay, but it will give error when the value is larger than int. So in the table which you have studied, the range of all the data types are given. So if you are storing a value, for example, a phone number is a 10-digit number. A phone number is too big to keep in a int type of data type. You have to store in long. If you don't write L after your mobile number, it will give you an error. So whenever you store a value, for example, I will store my mobile number. Long b is equal to 933-757-8231. So if I write like this, it will give error because it is Java will think it is int, but it is too big for a int data type. So it will give error. So here you have to write L. So you have to write long b is equal to the phone number 933-757-8231, and after that you have to give a capital L or a small l. Both are fine. Clear? Similarly for float, you have to write 0.0f. Why? Again the same problem. So whenever you write a value in float, for example, float equal to 5.0. So whenever you write 5.0, Java will think automatically it is double. So what is the size of double? It is 8. What is the size of float? It is 4. But are you doing typecasting, explicit typecasting? No, you are not writing the syntax, this bracket 1. You are going from bigger to smaller, right? To go from bigger to smaller, you have to do explicit conversion, but you are just writing the value 5.0. Okay, so it will give you an error. Therefore, it is compulsory to write f, small f or capital F. If you write f only, Java will understand, no, this is not double, but this is of float type. Clear? So it is compulsory to write either capital F or small f while writing float, while storing in a float variable. Next, double, you can write double 0.0d, small d or capital D. If you write D, if you do not write D, it is fine. It will not give any error in any of the situations. Okay, so it is optional. But while doing long and float, please write L for long and F for float. It can be small f, it can be capital F. For char, the default value is null. In previous videos, we have seen that null is a reserved word. Okay, null is a reserved word. For string also, the value is null, and for boolean, the default value is false. So if you don't give any value to boolean, the default value will be false. Okay, clear? So now we have completed the standard default values. Next class we will be starting another token, that is operators. So till then, have a nice time. Thank you.